Welcome back to the series. Welcome back to A Question a Day Keeps a Low ATAR Away. All right, we are on Outliers today. We are on day 8. So we've got some outliers, and outliers are on your reference sheet. It talks about 1.5 times your interquartile range, and it's above quartile 3 or quartile 1. Take away 1.5 times interquartile range. That's there on your reference sheet. So I'm not going to write that down. You guys should have it, or you should at least see it. Now let's read this question and see how we would tackle it. Okay, a set of data has a lower quartile of 10 and an upper quartile of 16, so QL and QU, so for upper and lower. What's the maximum possible range for this set of data if there are no outliers? Okay, so here's what we need to do. We need to find, let's say, for example, it's always got to do with your IQR. So if you've got what your interquartile range is, it's your upper quartile minus your lower quartile. Okay, or your QL take away. Yeah, you get the idea. So my upper quartile this time is 16 and my lower quartile this time is 10. So I can see that my interquartile range is 6. And so in other words, an outlier cannot be more than, so it will be 1.5 times 6 plus my upper quartile, or it's lower than. So in other words, let's do this. Let's do, it's my upper quartile plus 1.5 times 6, or it's my lower quartile minus the 1.5 times 6. Okay. And again, this will be on your reference sheet. And so in this particular case, my upper quartile is 16. And if you put in your calculator 1.5 times 6, that will give you 9. So that means I can have up to 25. For my lower quartile, it must be 10 take away 9, which in this case is 1. So that means the range of scores, and normally the range is highest minus lowest. And for this particular question, because it's not, I know normally range we go highest score minus lowest score. You have to be careful here because we're not asking for the range. Oh, yeah, you know what? Maybe we can. So the range, I would just say 25, take away 1. So in this case, you would say 24. Okay, now I would put all of this in your working solutions so they can at least see you, they understand that you know the highest score without being an outlier would be 25, and the lowest score without an outlier would be 21. Oh, sorry, 1. And so your range here must be 24. Okay. Now, that would be how you calculate an outlier. Now, for a particular question like this, they don't tell you the upper and the lower quartile. You have to do it yourself. And it says here, is the wage 970 an outlier for this set of data? Justify your answer with calculations. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to find your upper quartile and your lower quartile so you can find the interquartile range. Okay, so here's what we do to find the upper quartile and lower quartile. First, we need to make sure that the scores are ordered. And in this particular case, you can see here that the numbers are in ascending order. So that is all good to go. That means the lowest number is 300, highest number is 970, and all the other numbers are ordered from smallest to highest. Now, the first thing that we need to do before we can find the upper and the lower quartile is find the median. And in case you've forgotten, that's your middle score. And so lucky for us, there's not too many scores. And so I can easily see that 590 is my median. Okay, there's one score in the center, and you can see here it's very evenly balanced. There's 3 on the left and 3 on the right. Don't forget that if there are 2 scores in the middle, you'll have to find the average of the 2. So plus them together and then divide by 2. But we're quite nice here. And so you can see that that is your median. And so now what happens is to find the upper quartile and the lower quartile, find median again. Okay, so now here, because there's only one score in the middle, we don't have to find the other one. We don't have to count that 590 again, okay? If there were 2 scores in the middle, then we'd have to count that score again. but because there's only an odd number of scores on the left hand, or there's an even, how do I put it? Because there's only one score in the middle, I only have to find the middle of whatever scores are left. And you can see here, it's quite easy to see. Those there are my middles. Okay, so that means my upper quartile is going to be 680, and my lower quartile is going to be 490. And so now I can start to calculate. So now I can find my interquartile range, which is going to be 680, take away 490, because it's my upper quartile, take away my lower quartile. I should be able to do this in my head. I think that's 190. I'm just going to use the calculator and that's a good skill. Don't get too confident in your mental math because in an exam condition, things can go wrong. But yes, it is 190. Give myself a tick. So once I've got that 190, the way that I find if something is an outlier is if I'm talking about 970, this is on the higher side. So now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find it's the upper quartile plus 1.5 times my interquartile range. Again, that's on your reference sheet. So my upper quartile here is 680. My 1.5 is just 1.5, and my interquartile range is 190. So if I calculate that, 680 plus 1.5 times 190, whoa. That can't be right. Oh, okay, whoops, I did times instead of plus. So that will give me 965. So what it's saying with this number is anything up to 965 is not an outlier. And anything over is. So you can see that 970 is just a little bit over. Therefore, 970 is an outlier. And we've got the calculations to prove it. Okay, there you go. Hope that helps. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a good day and see you later. Bye.